Ah! Alright, hello everybody. Sorry for the delay on this one. I had some, actual serious things that kept me from working on this. I had a content strike on the previous one, which I did mention sort of in a post. Not gonna go super in-depth into it. I was just trying to distance myself from this content for a moment to make sure that I didn't receive any further content strikes, right? As always, remember you need to consider purchasing the actual translated light novels. They are being released slowly in English. You can find them on Amazon. It has been stated by the creator that purchasing the light novels will help fuel possibly a 5th season. So if you guys want to see a 5th season, remember to go check out the light novels on Amazon.com. And as always, I will leave a link to free translated light novels in the description. That is what I am using currently. And yeah, anyway, let's get started. Alright, so spoilers after this point, all that good stuff. If you guys didn't realize from the last update, this is kind of one of those just generic short story light novels. I don't even try to pronounce his name. He likes to sometimes put these short stories in, and this is like filler content and stuff that they use in the actual anime, and so this is stuff that you may or may not be seeing in a 5th season to try and pad out the tragic events of, I think, light novel 12, right? So this is probably going to be content that's going to be used to pad out the events of what's actually happening in the 12th light novel. And once again, this is the second half of that. There is something that happens at the very end of this light novel, however, that is actually very important and is not padding. So stay tuned. Alright, so Ravel shows up to talk to Issei and Rias about her brother Riser, who fell into a depression after losing the rating game. At this moment in time, I can't remember exactly when this rating game took place, but I do remember that it was mentioned in one of the previous light novels. I think it was either light novel 11 or light novel 12. Hey everybody, Future Adam here. Past Adam is a dumbass. Apparently this is from the original season of DxD. It's the events of that season. So time frame for this is kind of weird, but yeah, there you go. But yeah, so we've already seen this, and Ravel ultimately admits that she thinks that her brother, Riser, is just pathetic for being so depressed and not, just dusting himself off because of his, of his Phoenix heritage. Anyway, long story short, Issei agrees to help Riser. Alright, upon arriving at the Phoenix house, they meet with Isabella, the chick with the mask on her face from Season 1, and she tells them that he has basically been a shut-in. Alright, so the word hikikomori is used. It's a very interesting word. Basically, it's total withdrawal from any social situations, and it's a very, very serious thing. Anyway, Riser eventually opens the door and ends up freaking out when he sees Issei. He refuses to get out of bed, so they have to physically drag him out of it. Riser is eventually taken to the garden, and Tannen shows up. So Issei basically decided that he would take Riser with him and Tannen to the mountains to train him up, and help him overcome his fear of dragons. Ravel also decides that she wants to tag along as well. So anyway, there is a training montage. Tannen called up 2 special dragons to help train Riser.
We're gonna need a montage. A sports training
Alright, so the girls show up to visit since there is a hot spring nearby. Issei decides to peek as usual, but before he leaves the cave that they were staying in, he realizes that there's something wrong with Riser. He's been way quieter than usual, and Issei ends up discovering that Riser also wanted to peek, so he's not actually there, and Issei ends up chasing after him, and the two engage in a battle. Anyway, fight happens. Both men end up losing as the girls cover up in front of them, and Riser didn't get to see any titties, but apparently Issei did. And now Riser is basically cured of his fear of dragons. Zazel is hosting some sort of sports event with the Grigori, and he wants to call in Issei as a special guest. Issei is skeptical at first, but is ultimately convinced by all of the sexy fallen angel babes that Azazel has conveniently had saved on his phone. Anyway, sirzechs shows up, and he ruins Azazel's plans. It's explained that there is supposed to be a big event between the three great powers, and Azazel was trying to tempt Issei into joining the fallen angel's side. Alright, so the contest gets underway, and I believe that this is the introduction of Gabriel, one of the four great seraphs. She is known as the most beautiful woman in heaven, and is not only popular in heaven, but also super popular in the underworld. She is known for having a massive chest, and apparently she's also Lady Seraph's ultimate rival. So anyway, the events get underway. There's a little part where they just kind of talk. There's lots of talking and basically the introduction of these new characters. And during one of the events, Issei is convinced by Azazel to use his dress break on the participants. There's a bit more to it, and it has a certain effect on pure angels on the field whenever they see all of the naked women out there. And right before Issei can dress break Gabriel, Koneko steps in and puts a stop to all of this madness. Anyway, sports day ends with the angel team winning. Millicus, Sirzechs' son, comes to observe the Grimory group. He wants to see how they interact with humans. There is a brief discussion about Zenobia and Irina, more so in Irina in the sense that it goes super in depth into the system that is used to reincarnate angels. The angel system is based on poker cards as compared to the chess pieces that the devil system is based off of. And each head has a special suit. Lord Michael's being that of the spades. So funnily enough, Irina is literally the ace of spades. Anyway, it's a weird system that can give buffs based on each person's individual card. And it looks through many of the games, such as blackjack and poker, to give the angels buffs. So hitting 21 with a group of angels of like 4 or 3 will give them unique buffs, but also hitting a flush or some other poker hand will give similar or even more powerful buffs. This allows the angels to function even when they aren't within the same suit. There is a mock fight between Millicus, Issei, Kiba, and Gasper. Millicus lasts 30 minutes before running out of demonic energy. After the fight, Issei goes to wash his face, and Akeno trails him. She ends up asking what kind of child he wants in the future, a boy or a girl, and then she agrees to have as many children as Issei wants. Then we actually get to meet some more of sirzechs' peerage. They end up interrupting the scene with Akeno and Issei in the bathroom. Soji Okita, Kiba's swordmaster, shows up. MacGregor Mathers, he's a great mage. Suderer is just a massive dude, and he's a sirzechs' rook. And Beowulf shows up, but he shows up late. He is a descendant of the great hero, Beowulf. So, to sum up the whole reason Millicus is actually here, Millicus came to visit Issei specifically after telling his father that he prefers the Opie Dragon over Satan Red from the Satan Rangers, which is sirzechs' little made-up group where him and all the other great devils like pretend to be superheroes. And sirzechs has been following them and watching Issei while being dressed up as Satan Red, just out of jealousy. It looks like the Opie Dragon and Satan Red are about to fight once more for Millicus' love, but Graphia ends up showing up and puts a stop to it all. She ends up reprimanding everyone, but gives them permission to stay until it is time for Millicus to return to the underworld. Alright, so that big thing that I was talking about at the beginning of the show, this is the part where Issei receives his familiar that he never received back in the first season. He ends up receiving a small sailing ship from Suderer II. It is a living ship created by the Valdi tribe, the same tribe of people that created the hammer for Thor. Anyway, these ships are famous for evolving and growing based off of its master's aura. So Issei agrees to take it, And the thought process behind it is that it'll become some sort of flying harem palace. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with me until the end. Remember to consider supporting the creator by purchasing the official English translations of the light novels from Amazon. As I stated in my last episode, that should help possibly fund a 5th season, as was stated by the creators, that like, it helps. So until next time, and we start talking about Light Novel 14, I will catch you guys on the flip side.